And then he hits the ultimate crossroads off the top rope. That should have been it. If Seth Rollins was going to kick out of that, then it should have been scrapped from the match altogether. At some point, they have to start protecting finishers.
The Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
Hey yo, and what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show right here on Sledgehammer TV. My name is Nick Nightmare, and last night was Crown Jewel. Or yesterday morning, or whatever time it was where you live. Yesterday was Crown Jewel, and it was a really great show, man. I'm not used to saying that because WWE seems to have fallen back on its laurels lately, and it's just been kind of boring and kind of draggy and very corporate. But that doesn't mean that this great Crown Jewel show was not without its mistakes, and that's why you guys come here, because we're going to talk about everything that was wrong with Crown Jewel, starting with the commercial aspect of it. Why am I paying $30 a month to fucking ESPN for this app if I still have to pay for, or still have to watch commercials? The whole point of the payment is to be commercial free, is it not? And the WWE thinks they're slick. They're putting it right in to the program. So if this is like, for me, this is a very big annoyance. So if this is for you, what I suggest you do is what we do here. We let the show finish, right? Especially when it's on at 8 o'clock in the morning. Who the hell wants to get up at 8 in the morning here in the States just to watch a wrestling show? Not many of us. I'm sure some of you did. And then, that's you. That's fine. All's fair to everybody. But I gotta get up and watch this thing? I don't think so. Especially if there's gonna be commercials in it. So what we do is we watch it a few hours later and we fast forward through the commercials, because I've already, as I said, I pay for this service. I shouldn't be getting commercials in a pay-per-view. It's bad enough what they do with the regular weekly shows, but doing it during a premium live event, pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it. I'm an old school guy. I'm an old head. I will always call them pay-per-views. I'm sorry. Even though we're not paying to view, but we are, right? Aren't we still paying to view it? So it still should be able to be called a pay-per-view. Fuck your premium live event. You can call it that when I get to see it commercial free. That's the first big mistake. The second big mistake, and there really wasn't many on this night, but secondly, a lot of these matches were way too long. Now, I understand giving matches time to breathe and giving matches room, and I appreciate a nice long match. But a 45-minute long street fight that has no title implications or nothing really at stake other than personal pride is a little bit unnecessary. They could have shaved a lot of time off that match. With that match in particular, Bronson Reed beating Roman Reigns was the right thing to do, but what I think was wrong to do was to have Braun Breaker come in and get involved. It was unnecessary, and you know what you're trying to do here by giving Braun Breaker the interference is you are diminishing Bronson Reed's win. The whole point of having Bronson Reed go over a guy the stature of a Roman Reigns is to elevate him from here to here. But if he needs some other schmuck's help to do it, you ain't elevating him. That's a nitpick maybe, but it is what it is. That's perception to me, and perception is reality, pal. As Vince McMahon used to say. Another thing that I did not appreciate was the main event. Now, that's not to say it wasn't good. Cody versus Seth for the Crown Jewel Championship this year was a very good match. A little bit too long, but I'm glad Seth got the win here. It's great for the story to continue. I understand. But at what point does the constant spamming of finishers start to ruin the quality of professional wrestling? I think it's now. I think it's been always. We had a point in the main event where Cody Rhodes hits Seth Rollins with a crossroads off the top rope. That's it. That's match ending. That's the purpose of a finisher. Don't you understand what the word finisher means? What the word finish means? It means this is the end. Bum, bum, over. I'm not saying you can't have a close, kick out here and there. We've done that for years. But it's always been in relevant situations, like at a main event of WrestleMania. Right? Hulk Hogan drops the leg, 1, 2. Oh my God, Randy kicked out. Like, that's a special moment. It's not supposed to happen during every fucking match these guys have. How many times did he hit the crossroads in the match? And then he hits the ultimate crossroads off the top rope. That should have been it. If Seth Rollins was going to kick out of that, then it should have been scrapped from the match altogether. At some point, they have to start protecting finishers. Or else, what's the fucking point? What's the point of a finisher if it doesn't end the match? It's getting to be too much. The one exception to that is when you have a match between two iconic superstars, John Cena and AJ Styles, who have a match and they are using finishers of other superstars to pay tribute to those who helped them get to where they are in present day. We've seen AJ Styles do Christopher Daniels moves, Frankie Kazarian moves, Samoa Joe's moves. We saw John Cena do almost everybody's freaking move. We've seen an RKO. Right? We've seen him do everybody else's move, and they got kicked out of. Yes, I understand that. Aren't they finishers, wise ass? Yes, they are. But do you know what the key is in professional wrestling? When somebody else does your finisher, they never do it the way you would do it. Right? So it makes sense if John Cena drops a Hulk Hogan leg drop or a rock bottom or anybody else's finisher, you're going to kick out because he's not The Rock or he's not Hogan, or if he drops an elbow, he's not Savage. If he does a pedigree, he's not Triple H. So you can kick out. John Cena does an attitude adjustment and hits it. Maybe once a guy the level of AJ Styles, he can kick out one time. But once you hit that second AA, that would have been the end of the match. I'm confusing two arguments here because of the example. But AJ Styles, John Cena had one of the greatest matches of the year. Maybe of ever. Right? You can definitely argue that this match, the way they scripted it, the way they performed it, the way they wrestled it, was an old school professional wrestling match. No flippy dippy bullshit, right? No stupid things to the outside, no interference, no run-ins, no nonsense. Just an old school pure classic wrestling match, and I loved every minute of it. Fantastic. Nothing wrong with that at all. My favorite part being the very beginning of the match when John Cena added a tribute to AJ Styles, right? And he had what's-her-name do the announcement for him, the Never Seen 17, and then he gave AJ Styles his own props because AJ Styles was the John Cena of TNA wrestling 15, 20 years ago. God damn, so long ago. Crazy. Now, that being said, all the matches, as I said, another thing I didn't appreciate was the length given to a majority of these matches. The tag match between Rhea and Io versus the Kabuki Warriors, I think it was a little bit too long. Maybe that's just me. I wasn't really invested in this match as much as I was a lot of the other matches. I appreciate the Australian crowd and their love for Rhea Ripley, and I'm a big fan of Io Sky, and I love Asuka, and I love Kyrie saying I'm a big fan, but like this match I think there was just so much emotion spent in the Cena Styles match that I was just kind of taken out of that match a little bit in the moment. Maybe if I go back and rewatch it a second time, I will enjoy it a little bit more to the level of what you guys may have enjoyed it. I see the ESPN analyst getting a lot of shit today because he gave this show a B, and I think that's a fair grade. I think that's a fair grade for this show. I think C was a very generous grade for WrestlePalooza. I think WrestlePalooza deserved a friggin' F. But I didn't have the time to drop the hammer down on that and bring in a review on that. C was generous for WrestlePalooza. B, I think, is right on the money for this. This wasn't an A show. That first match, that first street fight went on way too long. And Bronson Reed not winning on his own merit and having to have Braun Breaker help him out just brought it down a little bit. I think especially being in his hometown, if he would have went over clean on his own, Roman Reigns don't need to be fucking protected. He's Roman Reigns. Right? Oh, he hasn't been pinned by anybody in 2 years since Cody Rhodes beat him at WrestleMania. So wouldn't that, if you want to make Bronson Reed that guy, the future of wrestling, he should have won clean. He definitely should have won clean. The Stephanie Vaquer Tiffany Stratton match was cut short. It's the shortest match on the night, and this is the one match I thought needed a little bit more time. I feel really bad for these girls because I think there was a lot of nerves going in for both of them, and it seemed like they were finally getting into the groove. It was a little spotty, this match. It wasn't neither girl's best performance, but it wasn't the worst. It was a little bit of miscommunications here and there. There was a little bad timing here and there. But I feel like they finally got their groove and they were getting it together, and then they both did their, Tiffany missed her moonsault, and then Stephanie did hers, and now the match was over. Boom. And then Triple H came out and awkwardly hugged her for maybe a little bit too long, and why he's got to be involved in everything, I don't know. I don't know. But that, again, there was something else that was wrong. This match for the Women's Crown Jewel Championship 2026, if any match needed at least 15-20 minutes, this is one of them. Take some time off of the Roman Bronson match. Take 5 minutes off of the girls' tag team match. That went on for a little bit too long. As good as it was, I think it was just dragging. Went on too long. How about you don't show us any fucking commercials? Take some commercial time out and give it back to the girls' match. But other than that, this was definitely a grade B show. I agree with that. What do you guys think? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. What would you grade this match? What did you think of this card? Did you enjoy the show as much as everybody else did? Do you have problems with it like I do? As much as I enjoyed it, we're not saying at all this was a bad show. The show was great. Good wrestling. AJ and Cena being my favorite thing on the night. Match of the night, match of the year candidate. Fucking fantastic. Loved it. Definitely that one match elevated this whole entire show. Because the rest of the show was very middling. Not bad, but middling. That's what I think. What do you think? Hit me up. And don't forget to do all the YouTube things that we do on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, all that nonsense. It definitely helps out the channel. Thank you guys for being with me here once again. And we will see you next time right here on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. My name is Nick Nightmare. This has been Sledgehammer TV. And we will see you next time.